Sometimes dreams can reveal what we're thinking about. Sometimes they have no connection to anything in life, but some dreams show us what our thoughts are and what our beliefs are. I had a dream like that a number of years ago. This would have been a long time ago. It was when the Taliban was in, or Al Qaeda was in, and Taliban were in control of Afghanistan. I guess the Taliban was in control, and Al Qaeda was operating there. Bin Laden was active there in Afghanistan. It was before 9/11, and I had a dream that I went to Red Lake, and just as I was turning the corner at the traffic light in Red Lake, I saw there was a tent set up at the gas station there at the corner, and I thought, "Well, I wonder what's going on there." So I stopped and went in, and here in the tent were Osama bin Laden and Colin Powell, who was the Secretary of State of the United States at the time. So, well, this is interesting, and so they were talking there, and so I sat down and talked to them, and got to talking to Osama bin Laden, and uh, I told him, my son is interested in Afghanistan. He has an interest in Afghanistan, and he said, well, he should come. Like, yeah, and I said, well, but if he would come, he is Christian, and uh, so he would, have a Christian influence. And Osama bin Laden said, oh, it doesn't matter. Like all religions are the same. There's no difference between religions. They're all the same. I said, well, I would agree with you, except I don't. I think that the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead really makes a difference. And I believe that Jesus rose from the dead. And the reason I believe that he rose from the dead was because he actually died. We do have record of his death. The Roman centurion certified that he was dead, so it was a state execution. So there's no question about whether he died or not. He really did die. And and then after he rose from the dead, um, he was seen by people who knew him, and the Gospels were written too soon after the time of the event to be fabrications and to be lies. So, because people were still alive who had the empty tomb was still there. People knew where the tomb was. It wasn't a secret where he was buried, and so um, people knew, and there were people alive who had seen him after he had risen from the dead, and those people were still there. So it was too soon to say that it was a lie. If they would have been lying about it, they would have been laughed out of town, basically. And um, the other thing is that um, there were like it wasn't individual sightings. It wasn't like somebody said, "Oh, I thought I saw him," and then actually it was somebody else. No, there were many people who saw him at the same time, and so that and the lives of the disciples of Jesus were really changed after his resurrection. They became different men. They were hiding in fear after he died, but after his resurrection, they became bold, and all 11 of them were killed as martyrs. And so, you can't, if you have a hoax and there's 10 or 11 men who all agree we're gonna have a hoax, but you start torturing them, you threaten to kill them. If it's not true, one of them is going to say, you know what, it was all just a hoax, and here, I'll tell you the truth. But now, one of the disciples did that. They all died, affirming the truth of the resurrection. So I believe that the resurrection really did happen. So that makes Christianity different from other religions because of the resurrection. And Osama bin Laden said, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. And he said, well, um, I could become a Christian, but if I would become a Christian, I would have to. Um, I mean, there'd be so many changes for me, and just like take for example my beard. Like I'd have, like you don't have a beard, so and I've had this beard for so long, like it would be so different for me. And I said, no, no, it's okay. Like there are Christians that have beards. Let me introduce you to Ezra Peachy, the Beachy Amish. They have beards, and so I don't know what all came out of that, but it was a dream. But in my dream, some of the things that I believe were there, even in my dream. And so dreams can be revealing. They can just be a result of eating too much for dinner, but they can also be something that reveals our thoughts, our fears, and our beliefs.